Expression orale, section B. Now, till now, for TEF speaking, I've already introduced you to section A. Now, today I'm introducing you to section B. Now, just like section A, I told you you will have an A4 size sheet in front of you on which there will be an ad printed. Similarly, for section B also, you will have an A4 size sheet in front of you on which there will be an ad, right? Difference between section A and section B is section A is a formal conversation between you and the examiner. So you have to always call the examiner as vous. Now, section B is an informal conversation between you and the examiner. So you have to call the examiner as tu, right? Examiner will always play the role of a friend or a family member who shares an informal relationship with you. So examiner will first give you the document. You'll be able to look at the document for 3 to 4 minutes, maximum 3 to 4 minutes. It might be, that depends from examiner to examiner. Sometimes the examiner can give you only 2 minutes also to look at it. The examiner will play the role of a friend of yours, and you have to convince the examiner for trying that particular activity, and the time limit for this is 10 minutes. Like for section A, the time limit was 5 minutes. For this, the time limit is 10 minutes. It's usually, no, it's always an informal conversation with a friend or a family member. Therefore, it is necessary to use the informal tu. Now, there are two parts to this question. First, it always says, présentez le document. So, the how do I say, the question will always be something like this, that you have read so and so ad in the newspaper. You have to talk about that ad to one of your friends who's already searching for similar kind of a thing. So now, since you have read the ad, your friend has not read the ad. So your friend doesn't have any idea about the ad. So first you're going to present the document that I've read so and so ad, which states this. Whatever is the ad, you have to say that in your own words, right? That's the first part. And the second part is that you need to convince your friend for trying that activity with you, right? An examiner will always play the role of your friend. Now, vous avez lu cette publicité pour un circuit touristique au Québec. So you have read this ad for tourism in Quebec. You have to talk about this ad to your friend who is searching an idea for his vacations. Présentez-lui ce document, and then you need to try to convince him or her for trying that, for doing this trip with you, right? Now, this is the ad. Québec circuit, Tour du Québec, that means Tour of Québec, 8 jours, 7 nuits. En pension complète à $300. That means it's all complete in $300. Hébergement en hôtel. Circuit en autocar climatisé. So you will get a stay in 3-star hotel. You will get to travel everywhere in a bus, which is completely air conditioned. Multiple activités, visites, excursions. You will always be accompanied by a francophone guide. And transport aérien, that means the aeroplane tickets, air tickets are not included. À ce prix, on n'hésite pas. Et voilà le site. You've understood the ad? So
Oui, madame.
now there are two parts to this. So first you will have to present the document. When you present it, first part is présentez-lui ce document. When you present it, you have to say all this information, whatever is given in the ad, in your own words. I'm not saying that you have to say it each and every word which is there in the ad, but at least 80% of the information you have to give in presenting the document, right? So these are few templates which you can use in the beginning. Salut mon ami, salut mon chéri ou ma chérie, j'ai une bonne nouvelle pour toi aujourd'hui. J'ai trouvé quelque chose qui va t'intéresser. J'ai vu une annonce ou une publicité dans le journal et dès que je l'ai lu, as soon as I saw I read it, j'ai pensé à toi. Une annonce à propos de, or une annonce concernant, qui s'appelle, une annonce qui propose, un article qui parle de, il s'agit de. J'ai vu quelque chose de très intéressant. Est-ce que tu veux en savoir plus? Qu'est-ce que tu en penses? Que en penses-tu? Now, how would I introduce this document? How would I have introduced this document? Okay, I've not prepared it, but just whatever will come. Hey, salut mon ami, comment vas-tu? Salut, bien, merci. Et toi? Oui, je me porte bien. Alors, tu te rappelles la dernière fois qu'on s'est parlé, tu me disais que tu cherchais des idées pour tes vacances d'été. Alors, aujourd'hui, ce matin, en lisant le journal, j'ai lu une annonce et j'ai pensé que ça pourrait t'intéresser. Est-ce que tu veux en savoir plus? Did you understand what did I say? That the last time that we talked, you were mentioning that you are already searching for the idea for your vacations. And today morning, while reading the newspaper, I came across an ad. And as soon as I saw the ad, I thought about you. I think that is going to interest you. Do you want to know more details about it? Fine. So of course, the examiner is going to say, oui, dis-moi. Then, whatever is written in the ad, you need to say that in your own words. Comment? Because don't just start reading Québec circuit tour du Québec 8 jours 7 nuits. No, it's your speaking test. So examiner has to see that how much can you speak at a length. If you observe in section A, it was not about speaking at a length. It was about more about asking the questions, which can be one-liners also, right? But here you have to speak at a length. So how could you say that? Alors, I would have said it like, alors, c'était une annonce de Tour du Québec pour 8 jours et 7 nuits et il propose un hébergement dans un hôtel qui est 3 étoiles. Il propose un hébergement dans un hôtel à 3 étoiles et tu vas voyager partout au Québec dans un autobus qui va être complètement climatisé. Il y aura multiples activités, des visites et aussi des excursions. Et comme je sais que tu ne parles pas anglais, tu parles seulement la langue française, alors tu seras accompagné par un guide francophone, toujours. Et tu sais, le prix, tu connais le prix de ce voyage. Alors, le prix, c'est incroyable. Tout ça, c'est seulement en $300. Mais la seule chose qui n'est pas inclue dans ce prix, ce sont des billets d'avion. Alors, qu'est-ce que tu en penses? Did you understand what did I say? Yes, no.
जी मैडम वही मैडम
Oui. So I've just said whatever is written in the ad, I said it in my own words. You can have your own way. This was my way of speaking, right? Now, after that, when you present the ad, the examiner is not going to say, "Oh yes, it's a fantastic idea. Let's go." No, because an examiner has to engage you in a conversation for 10 minutes. So examiner is going to come out with one or the other problem. Ah, $300, je pense que c'est vraiment cher. Or else, ah oui, je me rappelle que je t'ai parlé des, je t'ai parlé à propos des idées pour mes prochaines vacances d'été, mais après, j'ai pensé que je n'ai pas beaucoup de temps. Anything, let's say I will not have time or it's very expensive or any other problem, right? So now here the convincing part start. Okay. Now, when you say there are two parts, you need to present the document, you need to convince your friend. Both of these pointers carry marks. Sometimes students forget it because they think that it's all only about convincing part. They forget that they have to present the document also. You have to. That also carries marks. Okay. Now, interaction. Please pay attention that your debate, it's kind of a debate only because examiner is going to come up with problem and you have to come up with the solution. Right? Please pay attention that during the debate, you have a logical structure. You have logical arguments. You don't have to digress and you are quoting them with the examples. Here you have to speak at a length. I'll tell you how. Then, whenever you are saying your arguments for convincing the examiner, you can use certain linking words like tout d'abord, premièrement, avant tout, before anything else, d'abord, ensuite, de plus, enfin, finalement, right? In order to use more argumentative words, this is very important. You must first accept the argument of the other party. So, whatever the examiner said, let's say the examiner said, oh, it's very expensive, right? So, you don't have to directly cut and say, no, 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 what you're saying is wrong. Accept the argument first. Oui, je comprends, c'est vrai, c'est cher, mais so c'est vrai, c'est cher. So that's being gentle towards the other person. Yeah, it's true, it's expensive, but then come up with your argument. Argument can be, on peut payer en plusieurs fois. You can pay in installments. Certainly, certes, c'est cher. Néanmoins, now in upcoming classes, we are going to do certain more beautiful connectors. But right now, you can use the connectors which you know. Like for example, may, mem, si, even if. Use the ones which you know, right? Here I've written that try to replace the two common may with other more beautiful connectors. But right now we have not done it. So if you know, you can use. If you don't know, it's fine. Certes, c'est cher. Néanmoins means néanmoins and cependant. Both are, what do I say? Both are synonyms and both of them mean however. However, néanmoins, on peut payer en plusieurs fois. Bien que, now this also we have not done. Bien que means although, and after bien que you use subjunctive. This is subjunctive of the verb être. I introduced you to subjunctive, no, in the previous class. So, although it is expensive, bien que ce soit cher, on a la possibilité de payer en plusieurs fois. Tu as raison sur ce point. You're right on this point. However, même si c'est cher, even if it's expensive, on peut payer en plusieurs fois. Right? These are few ways of saying. Now, next. In addition, if you have several ideas, let's say the examiner said, je suis trop occupée ces jours-ci, alors je pense que ces vacances, je ne peux pas partir en vacances. Right? So now let's say if you have two ideas in your mind, you can connect them using d'une part, d'autre part. On one hand, or on the other hand. Let's say you want to say, d'une part, ça va être une bonne opportunité de te reposer. Ça va donner une bonne pause. D'autre part, ça peut, and d'autre part, then you can give your second. On the other hand, it can be a good opportunity for making new friends. D'autre part, comme tu me disais la dernière fois que tu te sens seul ces jours-ci, alors c'est une bonne opportunité de te faire plus d'amis. So if you have two arguments in one, for one problem, then you can connect them using d'une part, d'autre part. Or non seulement, mais aussi, not only, but also. Like, for example, c'est non seulement une excellente opportunité de te reposer, mais aussi, ça peut te donner une opportunité de te faire plus d'amis. Right? Now, don't say all your arguments in one line. Sometimes students think that when the examiner has posed the first problem, let me give some two or three arguments in one line only, and then the examiner will be convinced. Even if you give 10 arguments in one line, examiner has to carry out the conversation for 10 minutes. Examiner will come out for any other problem. So never say all your arguments in one line. Wait that the examiner answers back and then give your second argument and then wait for the answer and then give your next argument. So first you need to present the document, then first you'll present the document, then the examiner will come out with the problem, then you need to give the first argument along with the example. Now this is also, I forgot to explain you this. Whenever you are, because you have to speak at a length. So how would you speak at a length? Examiner came out with a problem, right? Now you are trying to, let's say, for this ad only, the examiner came out with a problem stating that only $300. I feel that it's not going to be that good. The quality is not going to be that good. Let's say this. So then you can give your argument And then the example in this sense can be uh, in the ad, they have also mentioned their website. And before talking to you, I was also thinking the same. And I had the chance to visit their website. And on their website, I read the testimonials of a lot of people who have already traveled with them. And I didn't see even a single testimonial which was negative. This can be the example. Another example can be, you remember, tu te rappelles notre amie Sophie qui étudiait avec nous à l'école? Examiner will say, yes, yes, yes. So, you can say, avant de parler avec toi, j'ai parlé avec Sophie et elle m'a dit que l'année dernière, elle a fait un voyage avec cette entreprise et elle a bien aimé ce voyage. So that can be an example. Any example which you can think that, I read the testimonials on the website. Any example which supports your argument. That way you'll be able to speak at a length. Example can be from your daily life also, right? Let's say I met the manager of the company and he told me, he showed me the pictures of the people who have already, and I felt that everybody enjoyed. Or else you can say, uh, I am also coming with you. So why do you worry? Understood? Then the examiner is going to again come up with a problem, saying no. Then you give your next argument. Now, next question where students ask me, how many arguments do you have to give? That's not decided. Because the examiner has to carry out the conversation for 10 minutes. So it can be 3 arguments also, it can be 6 arguments also. Or it can be 4 or it can be 5 words. Depending upon depending upon uh, how many can you say in 10 minutes. But then that doesn't also mean that you just say one argument and your 10 minutes are over. Then also that you're going to get the negative marks. That you're speaking too slowly or you're thinking too much. So averagely 3 to 4 arguments. But since you will be having pre-prepared dialogue in the class, so you can write about 5 to 6 arguments for your practice. Okay. And then at towards the end, if the examiner is convinced, so you can say that I'm really happy that you changed your opinion. If the examiner said that I'll confirm you, then you can say that I'm waiting for your response. I'll wait for your call. It's been a long time that we didn't see each other. It's occasion to see each other. Ça ne coûte rien d'essayer. It doesn't cost anything to try. Tu peux toujours essayer. Right? Also, the next thing is that what if the examiner is not convinced even till the end? Then also you don't have to feel that you get any negative marks for that. I remember when I gave my test for the second time, because I have the habit, I'm not saying that you have to speak very fast in terms of speed. No, you can keep a moderate speed. But since I have the habit of speaking since a very long time, so I speak fast when I come across a person who knows French. So in 10 minutes, I remember I had given 6, 7 arguments already. Now, after that, I did not have anything else in my mind. Then, any which ways, 10 minutes were also over, but the examiner was not convinced till the end. So I thought that maybe I would not get my desired score, but I got my C1 in my speaking. So it's not about that the examiner is convinced or not convinced till the end. The examiner can be 100% convinced, can be 50% convinced, or cannot be convinced at all. But they see that how well you are trying, how well arguments you are giving to convince him or her. Any questions still here? You can ask.
बता.
Oui.
Uh, One small question, can we say that thing which does not exist? For
In the
example,
ad,
like in convincing that
you
you
have to
can.
invent the stories only to 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 convince.
Okay, okay. No, one situation is coming in my mind. I'm trying to say that oh, you can visit India. There is a road connecting from the France to the India. You can come by road. Can I say it like this?
If it is, I mean,
Eh,
it is not linked to this. Is it linked to this?
not linked to this, but I am generally asking that
If
it is a
if
situation.
if if that is the answer to the problem that the examiner has said, then you can.
Okay,
It's not like that you have to say everything which is there in the ad only. That you will say in the presenting part. After that,
okay,
for
okay.
convincing, you have to you have to invent your own stories.
Okay, okay. You mean to say that if we don't know about that thing for about their culture or everything anything, so I can make like situation from my side as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah. Nobody's
Okay,
going to
okay.
check whether what you are saying, the facts which you are saying are true or false.
Uh, okay, ma'am.
That nobody is going to check.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it.
Anybody else? All right. So now hold on. Now, here are certain expressions. Like, for example, in English, you have certain idioms, proverbs. Similar way you have it in French also. So, of course, in section A, so you cannot use because that's a formal conversation. Now, here, since it's an informal conversation, so you can. I'm not saying that you have to. You don't have to forcefully use them. But if it suits, that happens in the IELTS also, no? When I prepared my IELTS, I remember that there were certain YouTube videos and certain examiners who were saying that in your IELTS speaking task also, you should use certain idioms that will help you get some brownie points. I'm not sure if you have heard or not. So similar way in TEF also, but I would also say that when you use the expressions, don't forcefully use them. When you are forceful, sometimes students, I have seen students in the past batches who are preparing the dialogues and presenting, they'll try to forcefully use. And in one, I remember one group who presented the dialogue. In one dialogue, they used some 6, 7 proverbs. And then I refused them that no, you don't have to overuse them. Only it's it's not like that. Only if you use these proverbs, then you get your desired score. No. But if you use them, if it is really fitting your situation, then of course it helps you get some brownie points. Right? Now, first is faire d'une pierre deux coups, killing two birds with one stone. So that's the proverb that we use in English also. Like for example, if you're trying to give two benefits of trying that activity, like we discussed, no, it's not only going to give you some time to relax, but it's also a wonderful opportunity for you to make new friends, right? So before that, you can say, mon ami, en participant à cette activité, tu peux faire d'une pierre deux coups. By participating in this activity, you can kill two birds with one stone. And then you can say, tu peux non seulement te faire plus d'amis, mais aussi c'est une excellente opportunité de te reposer. OK? Donner la pêche to boost up your spirits. Mon ami, il faut que tu participes à cette activité. Ça te donnera la pêche. It will boost up your spirits. Let's say if the examiner said that I'm not really keen, I'm not really interested in trying this. So you can say, je sais que tu n'es pas chaud pour cette activité. Ne pas être chaud pour faire quelque chose. That means not being very keen or interested. I know that you're not very interested, mais crois-moi, cette activité sera très intéressante. Avoir la cote to be popular. Grâce à cette activité, tu auras la cote. You'll be very popular. Let's say if the examiner said that, oh, this activity seems really difficult for me. Let's say the ad is about skydiving and you want to convince your friend. This topic came to me that you have to convince your friend for trying skydiving. Okay. And the examiner said that I've never tried such activity and I feel that it's very difficult. So then I use this expression. Ah, ce n'est pas la mer à boire. Il y a beaucoup de gens. Il y a de nombreux gens qui font cette activité tous les jours. Alors, ce n'est pas la mer. Revenons à nos moutons. This I was just using in one of the classes, no? Let's say, while saying something, you digressed and you want to say, oh, let's come back to the point. You can say, revenons à nos moutons. Let's say if the examiner said that I'm really busy these days, I'm too occupied. And you want to say, I know that you already have a lot in your plate. So you can say, je sais que tu as déjà du pain sur la planche. Okay. Jeter un coup d'œil. This you can use in the beginning when you want to say that I read an ad in the newspaper and as soon as I saw the ad, I thought about you. You want to give it an overview to the ad? Tu veux jeter un coup d'œil? Let's say if you feel that the examiner has been mistaken in understanding certain thing and or else you have said something else and the examiner has understood something else. So then you can say, mon ami, attends, je pense que tu es... One second. Oui, alors vous pouvez dire, mon ami, attends. Alors, je pense que tu es complètement à côté de la plaque. You're completely mistaken. OK? Yeah. Mon ami, tu n'as aucune idée. Tu es complètement à côté de la plaque. If you want to say you should try this activity, you should give all your heart. You should leave no stone unturned. You can say, tu dois remuer ciel et terre. You have to mix, you have to stir the sky and the earth. That means you should leave no stone unturned. Let's say if the examiner said that I don't want this activity requires too many efforts, and I don't feel like doing so many efforts for this. So, okay. So, like in English, you say no pain, no gain. So, this is the on ne fait pas d'omelette sans casser des œufs. So, one cannot make the omelette without breaking the eggs. That means nothing is achieved without a minimum sacrifice. Ne juge pas le livre par sa couverture. Don't judge a book by its cover. Right? And there can be many more. These are just few of them. Okay. After that, I have certain PDFs with me. Before that, wait. Def, wait, what was the name? Def speaking. Yeah, here it is. This was a doc file which was prepared by one of my students. It's not prepared by me. It was prepared by one of my students. So this one I have already shared when we were doing speaking task 1. Now she developed this. I'll attach this file also with you in today's recording. How can you start it? I've given few templates. This is prepared by her. Hier, j'étais en train de lire mon journal quand je suis tombée sur une annonce. Et dès que je l'ai lu, j'ai pensé à toi. Parce que la semaine dernière, tu m'as bien dit que tu cherchais des idées pour faire whatever. Okay? Then, if you want to empathize, if you want to reassure somebody, then you can use these expressions. Don't worry, ne t'en fais pas, je comprends ta réticence. Tu as raison, rassure-toi. Je sais parfaitement que ta vie n'est pas facile en ce moment. To disagree, you can say, wait, don't go so fast. Pas si vite. Then give your argument and you can use certain expressions like this, which will help your dialogue sound very natural. I'm sure about it. I guarantee you this. I assure you this. I'm sure that it deserves an overview, an overlook. And you really have to give it a read. And then certain expressions, which I was also telling you, on ne fait pas d'omelette sans casser des œufs, faire d'une pierre deux coups, ce n'est pas la mer à boire. Ça ne mange pas de pain. That means it doesn't cost too much. Vas-y, allez-y. Tu ne vas pas le regretter. Right? So just give it a read. And then she had made the whole list of certain topics. So let's come on to section B. If I come on to section B, so here she has prepared certain notes also. Might be possible that she must be practicing some, let's say, téléméditation. So she has prepared some notes as well. right? So here are just the topics, and here she has made her own notes, right? So that's about it. Then what else? Give me one moment. This PDF I found, I think this one I have already attached. Section A. Yeah, this one. This is not for section A, this was for section B. I think this one I have already attached. I'm sure about it. There were some topics, and then there were list of questions which were prepared by so and anyone, any person. So this one I had already attached below the recording of the class where I was explaining section A. For section B, I have got this file. Sushi, yeah, here it is. So here you have certain subjects, and there is a sample dialogue, which now I'm not saying that you have to say exactly you have to use this kind of a language. This is too difficult. I also cannot see, each one of us has a different way of speaking. I have a different way. This person must be having a different way. So, but you can take some topics, some ideas. Let's say if I take this topic, convaincre. You need to convince a friend for buying the fruits and the vegetables online. So just give it a read and you will come across certain connectors, certain things like d'un côté de l'autre côté, crois-moi. Une chose est certaine, one thing is sure. Um, don't forget that you always have the right to pose the questions. Your ease and your interest, that is before everything else. So just give the dialogue a read. You will. I can just give you an example. Let's say, okay, je ne savais, this is the examiner speaking. Je ne savais pas que cette possibilité existe. J'ai pris l'habitude d'aller les acheter en supermarché. I have always had the habit of buying them in supermarket. So what advantage can I have? Alors, de côté, tu profiteras des prix beaucoup plus bas que ceux du marché puisque la commande en ligne te met en contact direct avec le producteur sans aucun intermédiaire entre vous. So on one hand, you will benefit from the prices which are lower than the market because the online order puts you in direct contact with the producers without any intermediate person between you. And on the other hand, une livraison à domicile te serait utile et bénéfique en termes de temps. You'll not lose your time. You don't have to go and purchase. You will not lose your time. So that ways, right? You can take the help of this. Now, coming upon the topic for your dialogue for upcoming week. If you have any questions, please ask. I'll show you your topic for dialogue. Right. So I'm going to give you the topic for dialogue from your this book only. Let's go to expression orale. And also from this book, yeah, here it is. Give it a read, like section B. It begins from here. So just this is the topic for upcoming week. Give all this a read. Like I was telling you for section A. You'll get some ideas on what basis are you marked. Now, this is the topic. Vous avez lu une annonce pour un emploi dans un hôtel. So you have read an ad for an employment in a hotel. You have to talk about this ad to your friend who is searching for an extra work, for some extra income. You need to present the document and then you need to convince your friend for applying for this job. Saturn Hotel, 3 étoiles, recherche des réceptionnistes de nuit. Homme ou femme, that can be male or female. Emploi ponctuel, now that's not a regular job. That's a part-time job. Pour remplacement ou période chargée. So either they'll call you for replacing any other person if the other person is absent, or else they'll call you for the busy periods. They're also accepting the débutant, which means the beginners, even if you don't have the experience. They'll give you the training also. What are the requirements that they're asking? that you should have sens de l'accueil. That means you should have the sense of welcoming people. Rigueur, à l'aise avec l'informatique. You should be in ease with the computers. A bon niveau d'anglais à l'oral est indispensable. And then you can apply for the job on this website. Understood the ad?
Exam.
Um, Voila. If you have any questions now, there are so many things which you can say here. That first of all, just present the document. What are they asking? Then you can say, if the examiner said, I don't have any experience, then you can say that the ad says that you don't need any experience. And if even if you don't have any experience, they're going to give you a training. So you will have to come up with XYZ any problem, right? And then you need to think of a solution for it along with an example. Here I stop the recording.